Hello friends, are you feeling like giving up in the assignment that God has given you? Learn from Ezekiel the prophet. God told Ezekiel in Ezekiel chapter 3 verse 9, like adamant, harder than flint, have I made your forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they are a rebellious house. Ezekiel, like some other prophets in the Old Testament, had an unusual ministry. He was sent to a people who weren't interested in listening to his message. God had given him a heads up though. He was told at the beginning of his call in Ezekiel chapter 3 verse 7, but the house of Israel will not hearken unto you, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted. Why would God send someone to a people he knew wouldn't listen to his message? It is so that at the end, when they would be judged for their rebellion, they would have no excuse. Well, doesn't God care about the success and sanity of the messenger? He does, and he gives grace for the work. What is more important though is that the truth reach the unreached, so that those who would be saved could have the opportunity to hear the message. That brings me to many believers who seem to be reaching out with the word of God to friends, family, and certain people, all of whom are not interested in the truth that saves. God says you should not be discouraged. Your heart and faith must be set like a flint, hard and unyielding. They will mock you and try to subject you to ridicule. They will call you names. You will meet atheists, agnostics, backsliders, and mischievous skeptics. The Lord says to you, as he said to Ezekiel, don't back down. Speak the word and keep loving. The world rates success much differently than God does. A person who seems to be preaching to a receptive crowd may be said to have great success. People may see the man who's struggling to get an unwilling crowd to listen to the truth as a failure. So, in man's book, prophets like Ezekiel and Jeremiah were failures. Hardly anyone listened to them. No one wanted to be associated with them. They were seen as fanatics and prophets of doom. Yet it was God who sent them. And when he sent them, he knew they were going to an unwilling and rebellious people. These prophets only needed to keep doing their work according to divine prescription. If they judged their own ministry by how many people were willing to believe them, they could be discouraged and then abandon the work. Have you been given an assignment by God? Do you feel that you are being asked to do the impossible? Are you thinking of giving up because you can't see the fruit of your consistent labor? If you are feeling like a failure while being faithfully committed to what God has sent you to do, understand that your feelings are not an indication of what God thinks about you. God doesn't measure success with a human yardstick. He is the perfect judge. Only eternity will reveal the true worth of any man's labor. We have a word of comfort from the Lord, thus in Galatians chapter 6 verse 9. And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Why are we given such an admonition? Because doing good gets difficult at times. The people you care for may even turn around to hurt you. But God says you have a great reward. So set your face like a flint and be not intimidated by the power of evil. Whatever man says, you are a success in the eyes of God if you keep obeying him. May the strength of the Lord rise up in you to fulfill God's will no matter the opposition. This is Deon Akintomide speaking to you from the Lifehouse. Get in touch with us through the details on the screen. Until next time, experience the shepherd's love.